and welcome to our group's video for our Confucianism class at Western Kentucky University. We were assigned to do what's called a digital narrative. There were many interesting topics that we were given to choose from. After much debate, we finally settled on the topic of paper cutting in Asian cultures. Now, what is paper cutting? Is it really as simple of a topic as it sounds? Cutting paper. Well, yes and no. Let me explain.
The history of paper cutting is very long, with paper being discovered by the Chinese in the early Han Dynasty. Most of the people that had access to this wonderful new resource called paper were bored nobles. So what did they do? They decided to cut it up into tiny pieces and call it an art form. It's referenced in historical writings as early as the Song Dynasty, with the story of a young man who could cut characters and flowers inside of his sleeve. The oldest paper cutting we still have is left over from the 6th century. From the 7th to 13th centuries, it grew in popularity. It was especially popular during the Chinese festivals. After the 14th century, it finally spread to the rest of the world. It fell out of fashion for a while, with the Republic of China revitalizing its popularity in the 1980s. There are 3 main types of paper cutting: yang, yin, and color. Yang is the kind you usually see. You cut the design out. It's a brighter design, so that's why it's the yang. The yang represents the male, while the yin is the female. The yin is darker. Yin paper cutting is where you cut the pieces out to make the design. Color paper cutting is exactly what it sounds like. It uses lots of colors. It's different because usually paper cutting is done in red, which is the color of happiness and good luck in China. One of the most popular designs in paper cutting is to do your birth years. There are many different ways to do a birth year paper cut, ranging from the most simple to the most complex. Now, some of these things can get pretty crazy. When I say crazy, I mean when you look at it, it's not outlandish to think that the person creating this either had an extreme mental disorder or that they get paid per cut. Here are some photos from a lady who did a paper cutting for the 2008 Olympics in Beijing. The final product was over 36 feet long and almost 4 feet wide. Now we're going to show you how you can make your own paper cuts. We learned how to do these paper cuts by going to the Confucius Institute, located in Helms Library, on Western Kentucky University's campus. It's the one right by FAC if you don't go to the libraries here that often. The best way to get really good at doing your own paper cuts is to practice making the cuts on a spare sheet of paper. Most of the designs are made so that you can fold the paper to make the cuts that you want. Don't get discouraged. You will get better. It just takes practice. We're going to start out with an easy one. First, you're going to fold your paper. Always fold your paper with the red on the inside. Fold it in half once, with the open side of the paper going toward your right hand. Fold the paper again with the open side still facing your right hand. Now don't get too excited. We aren't ready to pick up our scissors just yet. First, we're going to try to draw this design on our paper. If we were professionals, we could probably do it free-handed, but since we're beginners, we start out with a drawing stage. After you're finished drawing that, then we can pick up our scissors and carefully cut the boxes we have created along the outer side. Now that we're done with that stage, carefully unfold your creation. Ta-da! You are now ready to glue it on a white sheet of paper, and you have created the symbol of happiness in China. These are often made and put around doors in living spaces during times of great joy, such as weddings and the birth of babies. You can also modify this to be more appropriate for the loving occasion by turning the bottom parts into hearts. This is done by simply switching the cuts at the bottom so they look like this, but it's totally up to you. Now, we're going to show you to do one that's a little bit harder. We will start out by looking for pictures of a paper cutting that we want to do from the internet. Again, if we were professionals, we could do all this free-handed. Our group decided to do one of our birth years. We decided to do Joey's because he's the year of the monkey, and that looked a lot easier than the year of the dragon for me and Jesse. We started by printing out our little monkey from the World Wide Web. After that, we placed the monkey on top of a red piece of paper. The nice girl at the Confucius Institute had already stapled the pages together, so it made it easier for us to do what we needed to do. Using Jesse's X-Acto knife-like art tools, we cut each one of the white spaces out on the inside of the monkey. Obviously, we start on the inside first, so that you can keep the pages together as we forge on to make this paper cut. After we finished on the inside, we cut the outline of the monkey out. And to finish the paper cut, you glue them onto another white sheet of paper. Ta-da!
So, yes, we are just talking about cutting paper, but there's so much more to it than that. And now you can tell all of your friends what you learned about paper cutting. In case you forgot, or you just weren't paying attention, here's what you learned. You learned that paper cutting is really old. it was invented by bored rich people, and that there are 3 types: yang, yin, and color. I hope you enjoyed making your own paper cuts. I know we did. Now enjoy all these wonderful credits of all the photos we used. Have a good day!
Something in here's not right today. Why am I so uptight today? Paranoia is all I got left. I don't know what stressed me first, how the pressure was fed, but I know just what it feels like to have a voice in the back of my head, like a face that I hold inside, face that awakes when I close my eyes, face that I watch every time I lie, face that laughs every